You have to. You got no choice. You know Chris would have made you no matter what. So. Hey guys, and welcome to our reaction to the special announcement. I mean, Sam announced at the Collision that he's got a special announcement. Is it good or is it bad? We won't know. But with me, it's only it's not a match, so we've only got two people on this reaction, and I've probably got the person who's dreading this the most, Linus Babcock. Linus, how are you going there?
I don't know if I want to watch this video. With the powers that be at Take 3 are forcing me to watch this, so okay. But they're just trying to, you know what, Collider? They're trying to go against me, just make me as anxious as possible with the Iron Man match, and now this. It's all set up against me. And just the announcements in general scare me, so maybe it's a good announcement. I'm hoping it is, but I'm just a nervous wreck right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a big Samm Levine fan myself, so I mean, I'm hoping it's a good announcement myself, but I mean, we're just going to rip the band-aid off and press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and play.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Of course I did, Chief. Where are you guys going to be on a Friday night but glued to your TV screens? How are we doing here today? I heard you guys
Tuesday.
like the Geek Day matches that are coming up. You're like Emma.
Yeah.
That's a good match, huh? Let me stop you right there. That's not going to happen. Emma. You know what? I'm not going to say that. Keaton. You know
Oh, I thought this was the ad that we saw at Collision.
That's going to be a good match.
No.
And then your lovely Emma.
It's not.
Emma, the golden throat that you all
Exact
love.
same
Guess who she's gonna
thing.
Play? She's going to play your new favorite, Mara. Yeah, you all love her now, don't you? She has one match.
That's smart. They shouldn't have had Emma play Keaton. No offense, but Adam and Mara are the stronger, and I mean, it's tactical.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Kalinowski was going to do that.
It just makes way more sense.
What's going on, movie trivia Schmoedown fans, and thank you all
they're not at the
everyone
announcing desk.
Who watched the Collider Collision. What an event it was. I mean,
Wyoming.
Crazy things went down. We have a new Star Wars movie trivia Schmoedown champion in Alex the Demon Damon. We have Mark Andreyko, who is now going to be facing Ethan Irwin in a match, and then we had a crazy battle here between dangerous Dan Murrell and Andrew Guy, and quite possibly what was the biggest upset
on that table
in Schmoedown history. Andrew Guy taking the victory, and we had the main event where we saw the champions of the world above the line retain the titles against the former champions, the Patriots. I have a very special guest here today. If you guys watched the Collision, at the very end of the main event, the champion, the Movie Trivia Schmoedown singles champion, and the Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, the inglorious one, Samm Levine, had made an announcement inside of that interview that he wanted to talk to us, tell us something, let us know about something going on, and he was going to do it in front of a match, but we said, you know, first of all, he's the champion. Should get his own special here. And also, we did this last year when the Horsemen broke up. We did a nice little special for that, and why shouldn't the inglorious one
Let's get a half hour of Samm Levine talking.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
And without any further ado, I want to introduce to you guys the singles champion, the team's champion, the inglorious one, Samm Levine is here. What's up, champ? How are you? Nice to see you.
Hi, Sam.
Throw that on. You can, yeah, you can put the hardware down,
yeah.
please.
Oh, this hardware.
Yeah, I know.
This is some unwieldy stuff.
It's good, though.
Yeah, help me out with that.
I mean,
oh boy.
This thing, you guys are like best friends now. And Samm Levine, what a hell of a year Samm Levine has been having. Yeah, I mean, shoot, the guy has not lost a match. I think the last singles match he lost was against Dan Murrell in the Collider Collision last year.
Wow, you don't say.
It's been a year, a full year, and then after that you had like, shoot, man, was it 7 straight victories?
7 straight victories.
And then you get the team matches. You guys had a hell of a
the record
run.
was 5 before that.
Yeah.
You just narrowly lose against the Patriots in last year's Spectacular.
Yep.
You come back, you beat Modoc this year, you
Boo.
the belts from the Patriots, and then the Iron Man match, it goes down. Tell me a little bit about that Iron Man match. How was it?
That was great. That was something Drew and I were really, really excited about because neither of us had ever played an Iron Man match, and we both really liked the idea of removing
two
luck
other
from the
people
equation.
had played an Iron Man match before that,
you know,
so
to
it's
us
not
the
like it was
most,
weird that you
fair trivia match of an exhibition of strength.
Mine for mine versus mine for mine.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
if we
that's
can come up with it, and
like
they
that
can't.
match.
If they can come up with it, we
I don't
can't,
know if
then
the
it's
Iron Man
pretty
match
clear indicator of just
really
which team knows
worked
more
that
stuff.
well in the
and
team
it certainly
format.
was that. It was
I
a
mean,
Yeah, it was weird
really
that they
intense
kind of
battle
worked
because the
together on
Patriots
every
started to make a little
question,
bit of a
but
comeback,
I
you
guess
guys
that
just
makes
kept pushing
sense.
them back. Like every time they would make a little bit of
it's
a
good because
comeback,
otherwise
it was
the fantasy
no
points would
thank you. We're gonna keep
skyrocket
our
for anyone who's
45-point
got
lead
any of those
here. And
four
then
players. So.
McWeeny, exploded at
But
his
I mean, still, you
personality.
got like
There was like a
50
demon that
points.
shot at him.
Yeah, they
I've
did.
never
60.
seen anything like that out of Drew.
He scared JTE.
He scared me.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to see that kind of emotion out of him.
Yeah, it was wonderful to.
Unlike when
to
they
be
first
able
won, he was just
to,
sat there at the table,
see
not
him
knowing
be
he
that
had
happy,
won.
Right,
because he's a champ, man. That guy's incredible.
Well, one could say that you guys, or even though we know Kalinowski had something to do with it, one could say you guys were ultimately the cause for the Lions Den demise, as we saw them break up at the end of it. And
I guess, yeah. I mean, it would have been hard for them to, if they'd have won that match, suddenly break up. But yeah, it's if we get credit for splitting up the Lions Den, then that's a feather in my cap I will wear proudly.
Well, you should wear a lot of feathers in your cap and wear them proudly because you've had a historic run in this league. There's so much that you've done with the singles championship. You've got
it's not over,
team
right?
Championship here, and there, if you saw, speaking of Snyder, who just lost his match right on the Tuesday, right before last week, we had Bibiani now taking on. He's now the #1 contender for the championship, and you had an announcement at the very end that you said you wanted to talk about. There's something that you wanted to say because what a year. Let's talk about, first of all.
Yeah.
You had 2 title defenses this year. You're 5-0 this year. It's been a hell of a run.
It has.
We know
it's
Sam's
been the
great.
kind of
We
run
know.
That, I could have only dreamed of.
Just like Christian
honestly,
prologue,
when I first
that's
started
been as
playing
long
in
as he
this
prepared.
league, for me, and I said this in lots of my interviews, it was always about having fun. I enjoy movie trivia, and then it just became about something else for me. Once I really started to become a student of the Schmoedown, of the bigger picture, of the storylines, of the characters, of the ins and outs, the strategy of the game, knowing when to use a challenge, knowing when not to go multiple choice, things like that. And I love a good game. I love good strategy, and so I really got into it. And I think that's when things started to fall into place for me.
I know you're a humble person.
Yeah.
I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Are you the best of all time when it comes to the game? When it comes to the game. When it comes to the game. Not just trivia.
When it comes to movie trivia, not a chance. When it comes to the Schmoedown, the movie trivia Schmoedown, I don't know that I'll ever be able to call myself the best of all time, but I'd like to think that I could at least be part of the
best of all
Fair enough. Okay, so let's talk about this announcement. So you're in the interview at the end, and you say that there's something that I want to talk about, and on Tuesday.
We know.
Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
What's going on?
Get to the announcement.
So, all right, like you said, it's been a year since my last loss in singles. Yeah. And in fact, in that span, there's only been one loss on my record, and it was the 1-point loss at last year's Spectacular to the Patriots with me and Drew. Right. It's weird that I don't know this off the top of my head, but I think that's something like 15-1.
Or something
since then. And when I started taking the game
14-1
seriously,
technically.
there were things that I wanted to accomplish. One of them, for sure, was winning the singles belt. The other was winning the team belt, and in essence, being the first person to hold both belts.
Right, which you've done.
Which I've done. I wanted to win the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament. I wanted to win the Ultimate Schmoedown Teams tournament. I did that.
The free-for-all.
I somehow won the free-for-all. I was voted very generously Player of the Year. And when I had those belts,
well deserved as Player of the Year as well.
I won the singles belt from you. My goal wasn't to win the belt. My goal was to win the belt and defend the belt.
Correct.
Because if you can win it and defend it, there's no question, oh, it wasn't a fluke.
Right.
This is a guy who...
And you've done it twice.
And I've done it twice with the singles and with the match against the Patriots just this past week at Collision. I really would like to think that we decidedly proved that we earned those belts fair and square, and they probably should have been ours the first time. If it hadn't been for those Titans, we just couldn't remember.
You know, right. Well, they did remember the Titans, or,
right.
Or at least they watched you not remember them, and they
right.
kept the belts. But
so,
like you said.
So the question for me is then, what is next?
Right.
What is my next accomplishment? And the problem for me is that I just can't think of any.
Really?
And I don't say that in an arrogant way.
Okay.
I say that in a, well, shit, if I've done everything I wanted to do in the Schmoedown,
okay.
There's only one logical step left, and that is to walk away.
Walk away with and give up both championships.
Give up both.
Don't do that to Drew, Sam.
But,
come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, then I
don't
have to
do
ask
that
you
to Drew.
Yeah.
Because what I would ask you, and you might have a great retort for this, is that
do that
right
to
now we
Drew.
know that Bibiani is in line for this singles belt next.
Sure.
We also have in Ethan Irwinworth and Draco match. There are 3 potential contenders there, right down. There's those guys that are there. If you look at now, we know we have a World's Finest and Shire Wolves match. Possible contenders there, so why not play them? Why not say, okay, Bibiani, you've beaten Bibiani before.
Right.
Maybe that's one of the answers to that question. But I mean, there's the Shire Wolves that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why not play them and then give up the belt?
I think it's because, for me personally, I feel like I have nothing left to prove.
Okay.
And every time I go out
Drew,
there, I am running the risk of having epic bad luck, like, say, I don't know, to use a recent example, Dan Murrell, who just had such bad luck out there, and not to take away anything from Drew, who played the best game of his Schmoedown life.
Dan was off, yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, I feel like I'm avoiding disaster every time I go out there,
So
and I still
shoot that
walk
shot
away.
like Jordan.
Exactly. I want to shoot that last shot. Drew and I took a 3-pointer shot, and we made it. And I feel like I want to do. I've been lucky enough to pull off a lot of firsts in the Schmoedown. I was the first to hold both belts.
First free-for-all winner?
First free-for-all winner. I think, was I the first to win both the team and the singles Ultimate Schmoedown?
In the same year? And
no, Mark Ellis
did
that.
Year. I was the first player to win 6 consecutive singles matches, then 7.
Yeah.
So why can't I be the first guy to retire with belts?
I will make a correction. Mark Ellis also won both tournaments in separate years.
Ah, okay.
Yes, it's been separate years, not in the same year.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, it always kind of stings me when, you know, somebody's out there and they're playing and they've got a belt and they're defending it and it doesn't go their way. And then afterward, what do they say? I'm going to step away from the game.
Is the passion gone?
The passion's not gone because I love the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Right.
And this is really more the announcement that I want to make, is just because I'm stepping away from competing doesn't mean I'm stepping away from the movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Okay, see, that's the question I was getting to next, because there's two big questions. Then one of them is because when you look at a guy like Dan Murrell, who took a step back from competition.
I don't believe this.
We didn't see him.
I don't believe this.
Now he's back. He's been. You've seen him in the scenes. You're going to see him. You saw him in the Collision. We'll see him again at the
I don't believe
September 8th live event.
Yeah.
And then there's other guys like Mark Riley who stepped back, and you saw him around all the time. You're leaning on more of the Riley side of things.
Absolutely, towards the Riley side of things. I'm not going to be a stranger around here.
Okay.
I have, as I said, I've been a big supporter, big fan of the Schmoedown since day one. And one of the things I've always wanted to do is help more behind the scenes, more with questions and league stuff. And for very understandable reasons, you don't want any of the competitors meddling with that.
Right.
And so this is, for me, the easiest way to help be a part of that, to help shape future questions, matches, league decisions, and I'm really more excited about that now with everything that's gone down.
Well, that's fair. I mean, the other thing I have to ask here is because we're looking at that singles belt, and you made it clear that that's one of the things you've defended it twice. There's these other people now that what I would assume is what's going to happen here is that Bibiani will play the winner of Andreyko and Irwin, and that will be our new champion.
And I could not think of 3 guys at present time more worthy of playing for
any one of them would be
any one of them.
Interesting.
You, though.
But let's take that aside.
Sure.
This belt here, the team belt, is not held by one person.
No, it is not.
It's held by 2. So when you're making that decision to give up those belts, you're essentially making up that decision to give up the belts to people.
Right.
How was the conversation with Drew about that? Because Drew we saw the excitement come out.
Oh boy, did we.
And I know Drew, and Drew has talked about this on camera, and he talked about this with me, is that when I approached Drew originally, he didn't really know what the hell this thing was. And he was just like, yeah, you know, you kind of keep bothering me about it, and eventually he did it, and Drew caught the bug. And Drew, and once he teamed up with you, you could see Drew is as invested in the Schmoedown as any competitor that I've ever seen. I mean, he's really embracing it now. He likes being champion. What was that conversation like?
It was a conversation that was the linchpin of this decision for me, because if Drew were not behind me in this decision, it would have never happened.
Okay.
It was a conversation that Drew and I had immediately after our Modoc match.
Oh, this far back?
It was that long ago that I had started thinking about.
Oh, this is before you even won the team championship.
Yeah, okay. It was a long time ago about thinking what I wanted to accomplish for me personally here. And
you wanted Rocky Marciano it.
Maybe a little bit. And so after we won the Modoc match, when at that point it was clear that we were going to get our rematch against Above the Line, Drew and I just
You're above the line.
back here in the annals of Collider.
I don't think you
floated
realize
this
he
plan
said
to him, and I said, okay, that means we're going to play the Patriots, and if we win that match, we get those belts, and then I'll have both. Then I'm going to have to defend the singles against Clark. And then I know Patriots are going to get an automatic rematch if we beat them, so that means we're going to have to beat them one more time.
You're going that far back to plan this whole thing out.
Yeah,
wow.
So I said to
and
myself first, and then I asked Drew,
you did it.
If we can do this, if we can get through the Patriots, and then I get through Clark, and then we get through the Patriots again, are you all right with this? And he said 100%.
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
and
because at that point,
Drew is a good guy.
He's like me. He's like, he knows if we could prove it, that we won the belts and then we defended the belts.
And you defended the belts and won
I'm actually surprised that Dave Drew come out
the greatest
full
team
of
of all time.
as
no
well.
question, these guys, they are, if there is a team Mount Rushmore for the Schmoedown, it's just their faces twice.
Yeah, they were champions for a year and a half.
Gonna
we do have actually Drew McWeeny is calling in here in a second. We're gonna talk to Drew, but before one thing, you and I, I'm lucky enough now that I can say that you and I we are friends, but we passed the Schmoedown and everything too. You and I are buddies.
Yeah,
I know how much you like being champion. I know how much that you enjoy. I mean, again, you're a humble person, but it's like the fan recognition, the acknowledgement of what you do, because I know how much that 3-4 record stung you.
It sure did.
It did, and now you're looking at a 10-4. Is it going to sting you to where you are no longer the champion or champions?
You know what? We'll have to see, man.
All right.
I don't know.
I gotta ask.
Ask me tomorrow. Right now, I'm still the champ. Technically, until I leave this table, I guess both of those belts are mine. But as fun as it's been having
Shire Wolf's World's Finest match probably isn't going to mean
it does, and it's gonna help me sleep a lot
good
better.
because everyone's complaining about that.
What's the stress like being the champion?
It's
or either that or that instantly becomes a title match.
I think people are going to complain even worse.
Two belts, and I mean that literally. They're like 8 pounds each, and I am.
I think because it's already bald as a double going to keep the match set, like what they do with
no problem.
But that's
already a
tremendous amount of pressure because every time I go out there to play, I have so much more to lose. And it's I kind of feel like wouldn't it be great? Because what am I going to do? Defend this till the end of time? I want to go out on top.
I understand.
That's exactly right. I mean, when Seinfeld went off the air, they were having one of their highest rated seasons ever.
You hit that, you literally, I mean, you don't want to do the Washington Bullets element of it, but you want to hit that shot like Jordan did and then take off.
I want to hit my last shot. I want to win the championship and then say, you know what? I'm not going to hang around and see if this thing goes bad. I feel real good about everything right now.
You're not punch drunk.
I'm not punch drunk, not yet.
I want to talk to your partner, the co-holder of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, coming off the victory against the Patriots at the Collider Collision. The Godfather, Drew McWeeny, is here. Drew, how are you?
Well, thank you.
All right, so Drew, we've been talking here. I mean, obviously you were part of this plan here with your partner Samm Levine, that he's given up both belts, and he says that you were cool with it right off the bat. So tell me about that. Why the decision to say that's cool, man? Let's just hang it up and do what you got to do.
Well, remember the way we were formed was sort of casually and accidentally, and never this master plan up front. So you kind of had the idea one night on the air and pushed Sam a little bit, and I happened to watch that and react to it, and the chemistry was undeniable. I'm very, very grateful that when we started that tournament, we played that first match. It was clear by the end of it, oh, okay, this is how the game works. As a team, I can do this.
Right.
And that, it just immediately made sense to me.
Right.
And so winning that tournament was the goal, and we did that. And then losing the title to the Patriots lit a real fire under me. And especially with the Snyder and the JTE drama off in the singles rounds, and it really became important. So winning the title was the goal. We won the title.
You guys,
defending the title was the goal. And we defended the title. And knowing that we got to that place, and again, this conversation happened before we'd done those two things, but just the idea that if we did that, then it fulfilled the promise that we made at the beginning of that tournament and did everything we set out to do.
Fair.
And I'm like Sam, I
guess
have a
that's fair.
year coming up, Christian, and I love the league, man, and I love playing the Schmoedown, but you got to play with your whole heart. And the team thing, we did it. We did it right. We did it the way we wanted to do it, and we did exactly. Excuse me, I'm being stuffed in a wood chipper.
Oh no!
Yeah,
is Peter Stormare over there? Kick him out, man.
Yeah, so we did it exactly the way we wanted to, and I'm glad it was against the Patriots because it meant something.
Right. Well, let me ask you this though too, because I just want to be clear here. You are not also stepping back and retiring.
I am not stepping back and retiring.
Okay.
I'm going to rethink my strategy a little bit, though.
Good.
And I have learned a lot being Sam's partner. I think playing the game from start to finish with him as a team taught me everything about the Schmoedown as a game. And he's right. It's not the movie trivia. The movie trivia is one part of it. The Schmoedown is a different thing, and I didn't get it until I played the game as a team.
Right, and yeah, and I mean we've seen you grow as a player, and everyone knew that even when you came in, everyone was anticipating what you were going to do in this league. But I agree with you. I think that you really started to shine during that tournament, and you could see that Sam brought a lot of your personality out during that time. But I also know from having conversations with you, the same way that I know Sam, is that you wanted that championship, that you wanted to be champion, and you became champion, and now you're not retiring and you have to give up the championship, because it doesn't work to where like we could just give him another teammate and then we fill that in. That's not how it works here.
I think that's important. I would not want it to work that way.
Right.
Sam and I were this team, and if I were to play in the team league again, it would be with a different partner and would have to be a radically different prospect. I don't know that I'm ready to talk about that, though. I had my team partner, and we played, and it was great. I'm now focused on, if I'm going to get another belt, it's going to be that singles belt.
No.
And I'm glad it's
I mean, if he does get a new partner, a McWeeny and team up will be scary.
I mean, of course.
Hungry roster I've ever seen on the
It'd be
Schmoedown,
great.
because I wouldn't want it any other way. I want to fight for it if I'm going to take it.
I agree with you, and I think that you've got a lot more to do in this league. And I wouldn't, when Sam's saying he's got to step back, I don't want to see it happen, but I understand because, like he said, there's a lot of accomplishments out there. I think that we've seen a lot from you, Drew, but I don't think we've seen it all yet. There's a lot more that you have to do in this league.
Not even close.
Yes. So, well, the last thing I wanted to say to you, well, first of all, congratulations on the win against the Patriots this past Friday. It was an amazing match, but congratulations on your run in general. But is there anything you'd like to say to your partner before we let you go?
Sam, it has been a genuine privilege, my friend, and I look forward to whatever your involvement is behind the scenes, however you're going to make the Schmoedown even more fun for the people playing it. And I can't think of anybody to help better streamline it than somebody who played it with the character and the energy you did.
We call you the Godfather for a reason. You are one of a kind, man. Thank you. I am so happy that we teamed up, that Christian, we were the brainchild of that call, and there is no better partner I could have ever asked for. So if you do team up with somebody else in the Schmoedown, they are the luckiest person in the Schmoedown. Thank you, man. You are my ride or die. And I can't wait to see that singles belt on you. And hey, maybe even that team belt on you and somebody else from the sidelines.
All right, man.
All right, Drew McWeeny, thank you, the Godfather. And strange enough to say this already, coming after victory, the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown team champion, Drew McWeeny. Linus Babcock fan out there is holding his heart right now, crying into
Linus, it's okay. There'll be more matches. There'll be more to come, Linus. The Schmoedown still has plenty left for you.
All right, Drew McWeeny, thank you very much.
I guess.
And goodbye. And so, this goes into the other thing we were talking about, Drew, getting another teammate here.
Yeah.
The end of Collision. Kalinowski comes
Just
out,
adding a little bit more salt into your wound there, Linus.
and talk about the team.
Rub it in, don't
which
you?
will now be called Anarchy. 32 random competitors, all superstars from the league, randomized, put into.
Got a nice name drop.
Who knows what the teams could be?
Ooh, guess that helps.
Does Drew McWeeny wind up in that tournament now?
I sure hope he does.
Yeah?
Yeah, because let me tell you, he talked about me changing the way he played the game. He changed the way I played the game. He inspired me to make sure if there were movies on my Can't Believe I've Never Seen It list, go home and watch them.
That's great. So that's, I mean, I think that you guys were a perfect example of how to work as a team and succeed as a team.
Greatest of all time.
Did not know each other very well at all.
Not literally at all before we played that first
Sam
game.
didn't even know Drew had a
And
podcast
so here you are
called
now,
80s All
again,
Over during
strange
their
to
second
say,
match.
former team champions.
Right.
You are now, I'm going to give you last chance. You know, to rethink this?
Uh-huh.
You done?
You don't really think it?
Yeah,
You don't really think it?
done.
You're now, I can say, the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown singles champion.
Yep.
I'll ask you a prediction here. So you're going to have Bibiani, who now is going to find out that he's going to be playing, not you, but the winner of Andraco or Irwin. Who wins that? Who's our next champion?
Oh, my goodness. So it's Bibiani versus either Andraco or Irwin.
Correct.
Oh, man. I cannot possibly pick a winner out of that.
You got to pick somebody. You've played one out of the three.
I've played one out of the three. You know what? I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say New Blood.
You're gonna go with Irwin.
I'm gonna say Ethan Irwin shocks the Schmoedown.
Well, that's gonna lock in a rookie of the
That
year.
would be my guess
goes,
as well.
And goes 5 straight and wins that title.
It's very possible. Well, Sam, thank you for the not only for the honesty for coming out here, but thank you for what you have done to the league in general. You have brought prestige to both of those championships. You've brought prestige to this league from the second you joined it back in 2016.
You sure did. So, yeah.
You've had a hell of a run.
Greatest of all
You've
time.
done more than anybody could have even imagined it was possible. you started out slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was going to be a rough go.
Yeah.
Where it was 3 and 4, you win again 6 or 7 straight.
Yeah.
7 straight victories.
straight.
That is a record. The
Greatest of all time, right there.
You've now won 2 championships. But one thing I will say though, one thing I got to say, I know that this is a little tricky now because of events that just happened. We're not going to get Levine versus Merle 2. I mean, they got to ask it, right?
Here's all I can say to that is never say never.
Fair enough. All right, so guys, I know that this broke a lot of hearts because it broke my heart hearing it. That
Broke my heart.
We do not have team champions right now. We do not have a movie trivia Schmoedown champion right now. It's up for grabs. What some will say is the greatest Schmoedown player in history has hung it up.
Some would say, everyone would say that.
We do not have a champion in singles. What is going to happen?
Objectively, the greatest of all
We're going to
time.
have a lot of questions answered by Thad Williams, a lot of questions maybe by Kalinowski. Who the hell knows? There's a lot to go down. What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to win? Who's going to be the next singles champion? Who will be the next? Because again, what the hell happens with the teams now? Shire Wolves, World's Finest. Will they be will that be the championship match? Will there be their number contender match after that? So much. Thank you for throwing this league. And Chaos, you and Kalinowski should join up and be friends.
We really should.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Just turn this thing upside down. Guys, I'd like to thank Samm Levine for being here. I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure you check out the matches this Friday. And if you haven't watched the Collider Collision, do that. Man, we have a lot to do here now. Bye.
Well, shit.
Well, yeah, so that happened. I'll go over to Linus for his thoughts on that right now.
Of course, my worst fears came true. Gonna need some long nights with some sad music to think this over a bit, but I'm to trust you, Sam. I'm with you through anything. It's heartbreaking that you're doing this, but you made some fair arguments, and it's not what I would have wanted you to do, but I don't make decisions for you. Your points were very fair, and I understand everything you said right there, but man, was that I gotta find a new favorite player now. Got some thinking to do. That's for sure. But thanks for the name drop right there. Yeah, the league's going to be completely different because. But I was a fan of Sam's before the Schmoedown. I'll continue to be a fan of Sam's afterwards. That's not going to change at all. And I think definitively he's the greatest of all time, and can't argue that because you're wrong. He is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things that, like, even I didn't think I thought he was just going to drop the singles bout myself. I did not expect a complete retirement, but yeah. So I mean, it makes Chris. Sadly, it makes Chris a little bit happy now knowing that Bibbs is now going to be in a title match against.
Chris doesn't get to talk right now. No one cares what Chris thinks. It's about Sam. Don't put Bibbs into this.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the team champs now as well, because I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that really hope that they don't turn the number 10s match between Shirels and World's Finest into a title match.
I'm going to be one of those. I think those teams have earned the number 1 contenders match, but I don't think they've earned a title shot just yet. I think maybe we're going to have a champion before the Anarchy tournament, but that's not till the end of August. So we have them play number 1 contenders match. Maybe we have critically acclaimed play some team for the other number 1 contenders match or something like that, because I think we need a bit more, at least at this point.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, the other scenario I'm sort of thinking is maybe the winner of Shire Rules and World's Finest ends up being exempt from the tournament and survived having to stay together, and then because I mean, I kind of hope that we do get a title match for Anarchy, but if we don't, my dream scenario I see happen is the winner of Shire Rules and World's Finest face the winner of Anarchy at Spectacular. If that's the other one that I could probably see happening as well. But anyway, I mean, enough about these speculations because we've got a summit to talk about all that on as well.
That is
Linus, where can people find you online?
Crying at home. That's where they can find me. Be crying in my room. But you can find me on Twitter at Schmoedown Linus, and you can find me. There was an Above the Line Facebook page. Don't know what's gonna happen with that. You can find me on Around Take 3. I'm a part of Here Now. Try to be on reactions more often, and I'm adminning on the Schmoedown Facebook page, and I'm around this type of community. But I'm gonna need some time. I need some time to recover. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can find me on Take 3 Productions, hosting my own show Rankum. There won't be one next week, but it'll be back the week after. I haven't checked to see if anything's on the poll yet, but I might leave that open a little bit longer. And you can also find me competing in movie trivia on Worldwide Movie Games and Multiplex and all around the place. So, and that's it from Take 3, and take care.